Dr. Mashelkar, Dr. Kirkar, Mr. Girbane, Mr. Vaidya, my very dear friends in the audience, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Mashelkar, I have not known him in the past to be ever wrong. But today I think he is wrong. Inviting me to speak on social innovation is a faux pas. I'm no innovator. I am an inheritor. Yet, I have such regard and affection for him that I could not refuse when he asked me to come. All of us are today living in a very, very turbulent world. The turbulence is unprecedented. I have in my lifetime not seen a period like this, when we are faced on a macro and micro scale with many, many issues. There is deglobalization, there is demographic change, there is digitalization, artificial intelligence, information technology, decarbonization, away from fossil fuels. Debt mountains, the kind of economy we are living in is a house of cards, really, if you look at it carefully. Disruptions in technology, health, energy, disruption in geopolitics, US, China, Europe, South, terrible societal trends. There is a war on in the world. There is a clash of civilization between Islamization and Hindutva and wokeism. All are pulling in different directions. So we have to be cognizant of the world we are living in when we look at any achievement or any initiative or any aspiration for us as people who want to do good and who want to really support stability, peace in society. I understand from what I have been reading and meeting with many people is that in this new world, leadership will come from disruption. It will not come from more of the same that we have been doing. The way out is not more of the same or a little bit better than the past or trying to do incremental changes in whatever field. It will come from disruption. We have to be cognizant of the need to be disruptive to find solutions. Every problem in the world is also an opportunity. Necessity, they have always said, is the mother of invention. People like Marx and Malthus, who Marx wanted to present disruptive economics, but he ended up being the last of the classical economists. And Malthus was plain wrong when he predicted that the world will perish as human population increases. And why? Why were both these people off the mark? That's a lesson for us today also. They did not have the benefit of a society which was boldly innovating. They lived in an age not of innovation but of discovery. India was discovered for heaven's sake. America was discovered. Smallpox vaccine accidentally was discovered. And as recent as 100 years ago, penicillin was accidentally discovered. So many of these world-changing, society-changing events occurred not because of an innovative drive to look at disruptive changes. It came from trying to solve a problem for which the solution was to go out there and see what you can do. And this is where an initiative like the Anjani Mashelkar Prize really matters. It is a very, very relevant initiative because in this turbulent world, we all recognize that while it is full of problems, it is also waiting for many, many solutions. Every problem has at least one solution. When you find a solution, first step is there is an ideation. You identify that, well, this is one way of doing it, and it could work. But having a technical ideation of a solution for any problem is not sufficient. You need to find the right application. This can be applied in this manner. You need to find the proper product concept. You need to find the proper market for it. Now we spoke about innovation not for personal aggrandizement or creating personal wealth, but creating social wealth and public good. However, a market is necessary. You cannot create public good without creating wealth. You cannot create ease, comfort, confidence in society without creating prosperity. And innovations and innovators have to boldly embrace markets. Unless you are able to find the right market, unless you are able to build the scale, innovations will not succeed. Henry Ford had once said that the world is full of great ideas in engineering which have been scrapped. And he was right. Few ideas work. They work because somebody has made the effort to find the right product, find the right market, find the right organization, and find the right financial structure, and found the right people in order to make it work. So, innovation beyond incubation, ideation, and so on and so forth, needs the right vehicle to go ahead. Now, I could give you several examples. I named three, but I will elaborate on one. One example is the development of Covishield. Serum Institute, the history of it is very interesting and I will talk about it. Great innovation. Cyrus Poonawalla saved the world. Let's not mince words here. Amazing things he did. The development of an auto rickshaw. We think, what is an auto rickshaw? It is like a tonga. Didn't exist. There was no concept. Today, the auto rickshaw is in every village in India. It's a great innovation. The world did not know the word auto rickshaw. It was invented by my father, N.K. Firodia. He developed this idea and scaled it up and built it. And today, we all have forgotten that it is an innovation. There is social innovation focused at primary education. We in India have lost sight of the wood for the sake of the trees during the several years of bad governance. I don't want to attract any more ire from my respected friend, Dr. Kelkar, by talking about the first 40 years of India's independence and its economic policies. I respect his views, but I have my views. And I feel that we need to look at primary education above everything else. India will not be a great country on the back of a few scientists. Will not be. Whether they are in chemical science or electronics or artificial intelligence, all of that is very, very precious, very, very important. But these scientists and future ones must come from society. Society needs basic strength, basic values, basic attitudes. These come from primary education, not from secondary, not from university, or not from postdoctoral education alone. India has been very negligent in primary education. The fact that we have so many scientists who are doing well, and if you look at the profile, you will find that, yes, some 5-10% of those are from the IITs. But even those chaps, those ladies, went to schools which are our traditional regional language schools. What does it tell us? If you want the society to be innovative, productive, creative, balanced, primary education is essential. And that is another area for innovation that my friend Shantilal Mutha has been doing. He has adopted 48,000 schools of the government of Maharashtra for primary education. He has trained 140,000 teachers, and he has reached some 1 crore students. Maharashtra, Goa, so many states. What is he doing? His innovation is getting the teachers to become interested. The government school teachers are not interested in education. They are interested in their salary, which is assured in any case. That is an innovation. Innovation is not just a device. Innovation very often is an idea, a concept. Innovation is a cultural element also. So this kind of thing is very important. Now let me come back to my friend Cyrus Poonawalla. He was in the Commerce College here when Pratap, Leela and I were in Ferguson College. Most of the time Cyrus was spending in Ferguson because, as you all know, in those days the pretty girls were in Ferguson College. Commerce College had a very dry atmosphere. However, Cyrus was exceptional, bold man, not a great student, but very bold man, a born wealthy, generations of immense wealth. So he went into his racing horse business, breeding and selling racing horses. Racing horses have a very peculiar life profile. They are bred on a stud farm with excellent bloodlines being present there. The first 3 years of a colt or a filly are spent in training. Their health check, they are built up to be strong and muscular and fit and have stamina. From the fourth year to about the ninth year, they race. They are in the prime of their health for racing. They are fast, they are enduring. These are valuable creatures. Today, a good racehorse, the top racehorse, could sell for 20 to 50 crore rupees. Depends on what is his bloodline and what kind of race he is meant to run in. After 9 years, he is normally retired or she is normally retired to a stud farm with the task of breeding the next generation of horses. But by around 14, 15 years of age, even that is beyond the horse. So he is put out to pasture. They're just living. They don't put them out unless they are injured or dying. They will not put them out. Such horses in the pasture are used for extracting blood of the horse, the plasma of which is used in producing vaccines. So Cyrus, from his stud farm, was selling these old horses or lending old horses to the Hafkin Institute in Bombay. They had a farm here opposite the famous Hindustan Antibiotics, big farm on which Hafkin Institute used to harvest the blood from these decrepit old animals. Was not necessarily a very humane thing, but yes, it was not necessarily a very cruel thing. Now, he found that this plasma is very useful. What does it do? And who does it with it? And what is Hafkin Institute? So he came to know because of interactions. A famous Hafkin Institute set up in the, I think, late 18th, early 19th century in Bombay, in Parel, just behind the KEM hospital. Was a very prosperous area of Bombay at that time. Even the government house was over there before the Malabar Hill mansion was built. And the Hafkin Institute had a tradition of development, innovation and whatnot, but had slipped into slumber. Very good scientists who could do and did not do much. Very good infrastructure, but useless, was not really leveraged. So he took over the staff and said, I will make the vaccine, I will make the serum. He brought those people, set up an outstanding infrastructure here in Pune for creating new ideas, new solutions. And he developed, snake poison medicine and rabies vaccine and smallpox and whatnot. Found that the government of India was a very large but a terrible customer. Government of India pressed you down on prices and did not pay the money that they had promised to pay. They would delay by years. So he decided, I don't want to deal with the government, I will export. He got 5-10 times the price in export. Money came in advance, he sold. Business prospered, he developed, grew, he put the money back in the business. We all know about COVID and how Covishield was developed in India. Of course, it was in collaboration with a famous laboratory in England, which is a wonderful thing to do. That Covishield treated 99% of Indian population. 0.9% people took Covaxin. You can Google it. So Covishield was built by a man who was a commerce graduate. His PhD, very coveted one, is in the application of such innovation in health, in society. So he's not a technical person, he was not a scientist. He was an innovator. He was an entrepreneur. He is a visionary. He built this vast infrastructure to produce the largest quantum of vaccine in the world. Something like, I don't know, 2 billion doses have been produced and given in India. So, Cyrus is an ideal case of a social innovator who did not set out only to make money. He had, remember, his lifestyle, I have known him for 60 years, his lifestyle has not changed. He is as wealthy as he was before. Maybe he travels more abroad because the government now has no restrictions on travel abroad. But he didn't do it for money. He made good money. And you should. Making money is not a crime. We are indoctrinated over the last several decades to look upon money as, oh, money is bad. To look at businessmen, he must be a crook. Now, these things you have to get out of your thinking if you are going to build prosperity, even through innovation. Any innovation will need to deploy money to scale it up, to market it, to promote it. Any innovation will need to be profitable, to be able to afford to continue to make it. Any innovation must make money. It creates wealth. It creates prosperity. Today, the small phone that we have in the hands of every farmer has done more for the farmer than any government scheme has ever done before or will ever do in future. A farmer is connected to the market. He checks in the morning. कि आज वांगीचा काय भाव आहे? And he is told, well, it is low today. He says, all right, मी आज कापणार नाही, उद्या येतो. He is empowered. Prosperity has gone to the phone maker, but it has benefited the farmer above all. He is the lowest level in the productive chain of our society. Produces basic food or whatever. So, making money from innovation, we have to recognize is a wonderful thing. If we don't recognize that, and if we say, no, you must not make money, it is wrong to make money, no innovation will ever succeed. No society will have the benefit of having such innovative ideas put to public use and for the delight of the customer. I would like, before I conclude, to say a few things. India, through the ages, has been a great hub for innovation. We are indoctrinated in the last few hundred years to believe that we are a pathetic, poor, incompetent, irrelevant entity. We are not even a country, we are not a nation. We are not a civilization, many people say. India was created by the British. Our value system is based on what the Muslim invaders brought to India. This is not correct. If you go back in history, you will find a value system which encouraged innovation. I would like to take you, because I have over the last 10 years been busy building this museum that Mr. Vaidya mentioned, and done a lot of work in finding the roots of Indian value system. Where do they come from? What do they say? And how it created India, how it made India the most prosperous country for 4 millennia. It is only in the last 1,000 years that India has suffered a decline. We are on the rise again. What is that value system? So, if you look at the Indus Valley civilization, what was it? Did they have ideas, or they just built proper houses in a straight line with drainage arrangement and a water tank? They had lofty ideas. The Jain tradition mentions Rishabhadev was the first of the 24 great teachers called Tirthankar. Jainism doesn't believe in God. This God doesn't exist. Don't fool yourself that it exists. You have great teachers who told you great values, try to follow them, try to understand them, try to internalize them, raise yourself. Those who are able to do that are able to do original innovation. Those who don't understand this will do repetitive work which somebody else says. So Rishabhadev, among many things, said 6 things which I am going to explain briefly. First thing he said was Asi. It's Prakrit. In Sanskrit it means Astra. Astra is weapon, Astra is sharp tool, Astra is anything to leverage productivity. Why? You must be a secure society. You must be a strong society. You must be a productive society. In today's world, we have the opportunity to do this using modern concepts and tools. But we should not forget that in the last 70 years, we suffered the worst defeat India has ever suffered against China. It was because our weapons capability was destroyed by the people in power. At the end of the Second World War, and I would like to ask Air Marshal Gokhale whether I am right or wrong. At the end of the Second World War, India had the largest weapon making capacity in the world, next only to the United States. England was destroyed, Germany was destroyed, Japan was destroyed. What happened to that capacity? We had the world's largest standing army, professional army, disciplined army. What happened to it? What happened that the people in power did not understand that you want to be a great society, you need not just money. You need defense of your society, of your values, of your culture, of your civilization. The second thing he said was Masi. Prakrit Masi means ink, literally in Sanskrit. But Masi means communication. Build linkages in the society, among societies, in the country, internationally. This happened in the Indus age. The third was Kasi, Krishi. People think Krishi is merely plowing the field and growing some corn. I'm sorry. At that time, in that societal context, in that civilizational atmosphere, that was the means of production. Till 400 years ago, when the French economists talked of all wealth coming from land, when the French say it, you say, no, it's an economic theory. See, Indians said Kasi as being important. You have to recognize that that was the source of income, wealth, productivity. It meant produce a surplus. If you produce in economics, in agriculture, but it is a subsistence farming where you only feed yourself and your family, you are not going to build prosperity. If you want the society to be developed, build a surplus, create a surplus. When you create a surplus, you can trade it. The fourth thing he said, the only preceptor of a religion in the world was Vanijya. Do trade. No other religious teacher has told you to build wealth. He did it. And you see that signs of Vanijya in the Indus Valley civilization with ships and ports in the cities, and trade with Arabia, trade with Rome, trade with wherever. So this created the impetus for a developed society. The fifth thing he said was Kala. Kala does not mean painting and singing and flute and dancing. Yeah, it means all that. But Kala meant skills. Build skills. Develop proper attitude to pottery, to woodwork, to masonry. If you wanted to build a house, you needed the kumbhar with you because you needed the tiles on top. In Marathi we say kaul on top. You needed a sutar, a carpenter to build your pillars and your beams of the house. Without these trades, you could not live a developed life. We look down upon skill. Yeah, skill. I mean, somebody is a wireman, somebody is a plumber. If you don't have wiremen from tomorrow, you will not be able to live. Somebody has said, and I believe he is right, that if you remove all the ants from the world will collapse in 1 year. So all these elements are important. The last thing, important thing he said was Vidya. Vidya meant astronomy, mathematics. It meant medical things, diet, food, values of food, Ayurveda. These existed. That is what our society was. And it was, without a doubt, the most prosperous society in the world. Now, somebody will get up who has been indoctrinated in modern economics and say, yes, but they were only rich people and feudal lords and the poor people were struggling. I disagree. Every village in India was a distributed, self-contained economy. It had a potter, it had a carpenter, it had a house bricklayer, it had somebody who was a flower seller, somebody who was whatever. In Marathi, we have a saying, Bara Balute. That means 12 different kinds of trades. They were self-contained societies. All lived together. If I was a trader and I was making money on my trade, I would have to share that money with the carpenter to build me a house. I would have to share it with the potter I needed for heating the milk, for cooking my food. It was not done in stainless steel utensils. It was done in earthen pots. All these trades made for prosperity in society. Each of them involved innovation. Some of those innovations have endured for a few thousand years. If you go to Punjab even now, and if you are lucky enough to find a bullock cart, it looks exactly the same as the bullock cart found in the Indus Valley digging. Identical. The balance, the features, the thickness of the wood and so on is the same. 4,000 years, 5,000 years, an innovation can live. It does, and it builds the power of the society. So I want to say that innovation is essential. In turbulent times, you need it more than before. We are into times which are more turbulent than any one of us really sees before our eyes. We are headed into a terrible storm. What will save us? What will benefit humanity? Disruptive technology, which enables us to leapfrog over the problems we have, create a new basis for solutions for people in healthcare, as she has so wonderfully done. My compliments to you. I want, after this meeting, I want to have my own test done. I have to see my endocrinologist tomorrow. So all these things, these innovations are amazing. They are a testimony to the innovativeness, the commitment, the goodness of heart of the Indian citizen. What Dr. Mashelkar has done by naming this award after his mother and celebrating people who are innovative is great national service. Sir, my salute to you. I can go on for a long time, but before I am told to stop, I better stop. Thank you very much. I appreciate your kind, patient hearing.